I don't mean to step on you. I'm sorry. You are right in the way in my defense. You're right in the way.
Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here once again. So in this video, just trying to do a series of videos talking about preparedness as much as we possibly can, and trying to think a little bit outside the box of things that a lot of people don't think about perhaps. And this video is going to be one of those. We're going to talk about clothing, footwear, those type of things. Now, I think that a lot of people don't, we have regular clothes that we wear. Some people have closets full of stuff, it just really depends. And but I think that it's important that we look at the big picture of things and we try to plan ahead, be as ready as we can be. What I try to do a lot of times, like if I'll go through my stuff, like every 6 months, I'll go through my stuff and I'll go, okay, now if I haven't worn this in 6 months, I'm probably not going to wear it. So, that's what I do a lot of times. So what I'll do is I'll take those clothes that I don't wear and I'll bag them up and I'll put them aside. Because I don't throw them out, because again, in a true SHTF situation, what ends up happening is you're not going to get any more clothes. There's no place to go and get more clothes. And eventually you will wear out what you have. It's just a matter of time. Just with daily activity and being more active in those type of things, it's important to think about, what am I going to do in this situation? This situation comes up, am I ready for it? How can I prepare for it? What am I going to do? So those are things excuse me, that I try to think about when I'm doing preparedness. And that's why a lot of those old clothes, like t-shirts and stuff like that, old socks that if I got a bunch of socks, I'll set them aside, because maybe I don't use them just for myself. I'll use them for other people that need them as well. The other thing that I think about a lot is footwear. So having enough footwear, again, eventually you're going to wear out your shoes. I mean, it's like just with regular use. If you have a favorite pair of boots or a favorite pair of sneakers, after a while you're going to have to replace them because they wear out, the soles come off, and everything else. So planning ahead that way, I think, is a really, really important aspect of of prepping. And I don't think a lot of people think enough about footwear, and I think that is a hugely important part of the things that you need to plan ahead for. So what I try to do is, I will, like, if I have a pair of boots that I like, I'll go ahead and buy 3 pairs of boots, and I'll set 2 of them away, and then when I wear the one, and once that pair wears out, I'll grab the next pair in the rotation, but then I'll add another pair of boots. So I always have a few pairs of boots ahead. One of the other things I always try to make sure I have an extra pair of is the muck boots. Muck boots, I think, are hugely important, especially out here, when you're living in the woods, and having, a good pair of boots, like muck boots to have if you're going through crap. If you're going through wet vegetation and all that type of stuff, you're going to wear your shoes and your boots out pretty quickly. But if you have a good pair of muck boots that's not leaking, that can make all the difference in the world, keeping your feet dry and all those type of things. So it's also something that needs to be thought about. Having, like slippers. I like a pair of slippers. That's just me. I've always had a pair of slippers, and I just enjoy having them. So proper planning, thinking ahead, making sure you have enough proper footwear for what your needs are going to be, down the road. And like I said, again, planning ahead and thinking ahead. Jeans. Don't throw that old pair of jeans out. I think if I have a pair in here or not, but I had a pair of jeans recently that I ripped, and they were, I couldn't wear them anymore. But you don't get rid of those, because the rest of the material that is not worn out and beat up can be used for patching. Down the road, you may end up having to patch, in the seat of your pants, in your knees, or wherever, that it starts to wear out. You're going to need other options with that goes. Now another thing that I think a lot of people don't think about, like long johns. Long johns are a great thing to have. You got to plan for whatever climate you're in, and so with having layers is important, especially when you're dealing with cold weather. Having a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have a t-shirt on, then I'll throw a sweatshirt over the top of that, and then generally a jacket over the top of that. And that, for me personally, that's usually more than enough to keep my torso warm. But that layer of and then again, if it's really cold, then I'll do long johns underneath the t-shirt. So long johns, t-shirt, sweatshirt, and then a jacket. And that, like I said, that works out really well when I'm in those type of situations. Especially if you're going to be outside and you're going to be exposed to the cold weather, you want to make sure the most important thing is keeping your core warm. Now, along with keeping your core warm, you got to make sure you're having proper gloves and socks to keep your feet and your hands warm, because those are the areas that are going to probably freeze first, other than like your nose or your ears. Those are also, your lips can be another area of exposure that's going to freeze probably more so than any other place. But your fingers, your extremities, when it's really extremely cold, your body heat is going to go away from your extremities to keep your core warm. So keeping that core warm is key. Keeping everything else going, and realizing your limitations when you're out in extreme weather. How long can I be out here safely, doing what I need to do? Those type of things. So that's something that we all need to think about, ahead of time, and again, plan for that. Having scarves, having a face mask that you can wear. Like when I ride motorcycle, and if I'm riding motorcycle in the cold weather, it's a thin layer thing that you can put on your face, and believe it or not, it keeps your face really, really warm even when you're dealing with cold temperatures. So that's kind of a neat thing as well. So again, like with proper planning, thinking ahead, planning ahead, you're going to be in much, much better shape when it comes to dealing with those type of situations. But the kind of things that you have prepared wise, right now we're not in situations where we're out dealing with extreme weather a lot. But in a true SHTF situation, you're not going to be hanging out in the house. There's going to be things that you have to do to survive every single day. So you're going to be outside a whole lot more than you would be normally now. Normally now, what do people do? They go to work, they leave their house, they get in their car, they go to work, they do their 8-hour job, they get in their car, they come back home, they come back in the house. If you live in suburbia, you might have to do a little lawn work, so you got to cut your grass, maybe trim the bushes up a little bit, whatever the case may be. But there's not a whole lot of physical activity that you're doing outside. Maybe in the wintertime you have to shovel your driveway. A lot of people have a snow blower and all those type of things. Those things are not going to be available, after a true SHTF situation. And realistically, in a true SHTF situation, you're probably going to be hunkering down inside more so than you normally would be. So again, a lot of proper planning goes into that, in being prepared for the cold weather. When the weather's nice, you should be preparing for the cold weather. So like in New York, a lot of times in the spring, when spring would come, that's when I would have my wood deliveries come in, and I would get my wood shed completely full before fall came. So it gave it more time for that wood to season, and I always had wood left over from the year before, so we would just do it that way. And it's just, again, it's about planning, being ready, getting ahead of things, staying ahead of things, and putting yourself in a position to win. It's always about that. But making sure you have the proper clothes, making sure that you have needles and thread to be able to mend clothing is important as well. And like I said, with proper planning, you're going to be in good shape a lot longer than a lot of people would be. And again, it's just thinking ahead, planning ahead. What do I have? What would I need in that situation? And so, cold weather gear is important. Proper footwear is important. And you just, if you sit down and you think about it and you go, okay, you know, my philosophy is always when I'm thinking about a situation, I think, okay, worst case scenario, what would I do? How would I deal with it? What do I have on hand right now? And what would I need? So, those things are really, really important to think about. Wool socks. Wool sheds water. So you could have a wool blanket wrapped around you and it'll be raining and you're going to still stay warm with that wool blanket, and that water's going to shed off of that. So, that's something to think about. If you can get some wool clothing that's going to help you, that's not a bad thing. Making sure you got plenty of hats. Keep your head warm. So, being a bald guy, that's one of those things that I think about. But, so hopefully this video helps. Hopefully this video make you think a little bit. Stop throwing things away that don't need to be thrown away. They could be used for a rainy day, and so it's a good thing to have and plan ahead for. So one tip that I will say too, for those of you that are childbearing ages, cloth diapers. Get cloth diapers. Put cloth diapers aside. I have cloth diapers set aside because you never know when you may need them. It's an important aspect. People are not going to stop having babies. And you're not going to be able to go to the store to get diapers. You're going to have to improvise. So cloth diapers, something that you can use over and over and over again, is a good thing. So just proper planning and you should be in pretty good shape. Alright guys, I'm going to jump off of here for now. Oh, and this video should be going up Sunday. So I will be live streaming at 8 o'clock Sunday night. So definitely check us out then. We'll have a good discussion. Please be safe. Keep prepping. Take care of your business. Remember, we truly are all in this together. If we could ever figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to come together as human beings. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do, it doesn't have to be about living off grid. It doesn't have to be about prepping. It's whatever your goals and aspirations are. If you set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen, they will happen. Stay away from negative people telling you what you cannot do, and you're going to be in much better shape that way as well. Please be safe, everyone. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.